Hey guys, so I am going to be doing a speakers event this weekend, and when I was discussing with my clients and colleagues and friends what I might talk about, the topic that came up was, how do you do it, Mira? How do you work through performance anxiety? I had a little think about it, and there's a couple of things that I think are related to this. One is the actual anxiety related to the moment of performance itself that you might get coming up at that point, which might make you run away completely from it. The other type is you get through it, but you're exhausted and then you don't want to do it again for ages, which kind of ends up like the same thing where, I did it, but I'm not doing it consistently enough to gain momentum and deliver the project or create a career in that direction or be known for that thing or experience the creative satisfaction of doing it regularly. So how do I do it? 1, regulate. 2, regulate. 3, regulate. And what does regulate mean? Regulate means regulate the nervous system. So while I love the idea of mindset, and I'm in the coaching world, so we talk about mindset a lot, I think it's also body set. And when I look at the teachings of people who I really appreciate around mindset, they are talking about emotions and they are talking about staying present in the body through the emotional reality, because that's what derails us, is our fight, flight, freeze responses, our fear responses, our panic responses, our overwhelming sadness or loneliness or abandonment. Those really intense, deep emotional experiences are the things that take us off course. So when it comes to any kind of performance, so I'm talking here not just the one that has been transformative for me personally has been singing my own songs on stage, and using these tools to work through that has been remarkable. But it applies, and I've used it in these other contexts myself as well: job interviews, career changes, any context where you want to put yourself out there, telling someone you love them, doing a presentation at work, speaking up in a meeting, making that hard phone call, having that hard conversation, setting a boundary. There are so many contexts in which we need to perform to a certain extent, where we want to be consistent and solid in how we show up visibly in front of another person or group of people. So the first thing to do is to learn how to be with the intensity of energy in that moment. And I remember way back, one of the coaches, big coaches back in the day and still now, Tony Robbins, talked about how the sensation of fear and excitement in the body is kind of the same. And I liked that teaching, but it didn't quite go deep enough for me, just to tell myself, I'm feeling fear, but it's actually excitement, and then just run with it. Didn't quite work. Once I started to understand the neurobiology of fear, of the fight, flight, freeze mechanisms, I started to fall in love with that experience in my body. Even though it's uncomfortable, I'm like, this is my animalistic nature, my primal creature being doing its job. Not only is this like okay and I can transform it, but this is right. I am in a situation right now where I am vulnerable. I'm exposing myself. If we're in a performance context and it goes wrong, then we might be feeling so much shame and we might get the ejection from the tribe, and it's survival instinct. It's all survival stuff, which is how we're designed. There's nothing wrong with it. And as soon as that mindset comes in, there's a real deep change internally towards these sensations and experiences going on with your body. The second thing fits in a little bit with that aspect around shame. So somatic work, embodied work, there's a thing called mirror neurons, which means if I'm feeling something, you're going to feel it. And you really see this play out in performances on stage, where if the person on stage is starting to go into a collapsed state and feel awkward, the audience members will feel that too. They start to feel like awkward. And so they really do want your success as a performer, not for you, but because they don't want to feel that. They want to feel the elation. They want to feel better. They want the relief from that discomfort. So in some ways, it's funny with performance. If you go down, if you kind of go weak for a moment, and then come back up. You almost get more, you know, that whole feeling like the underdog thing. You get more passion and connection with people because they get the relief, they get the endorphin rush, they get the dopamine hit, and they're out of that with you. So they want you out of that because they don't want to feel it. So managing your own reactions, managing audience psychology. And then the third, regulate, is afterwards. So what can happen is there's quite a surge of energy, cortisol, adrenaline, different things that we can use constructively in those moments that's going through the body. And we can wear ourselves out if we don't manage this well, and you'll get a drop off afterwards that makes the whole experience a little bit negatively colored in your body, and then you're not as attracted to doing it again. So there's proactive management of your energy here, understanding your own biology, that really helps, which is to plan in and program in a few things afterwards. One is try to get away from any feedback that can be difficult. Some people will come into your space anyway with negative feedback, but try to surround yourself with safe people. If you're doing a performance, or you know you've got off that hard conversation, go speak to someone that you really trust and you know can be sympathetic. Secondly, schedule a block of time. Give yourself space and time and do something that is very soothing for you. And everybody's different. We have to work these out for ourselves and tailor our programs to our own nervous systems. But simple things that work for a lot of people: a walk at the beach, a walk around the neighborhood, some exercise. Some people go to the gym. Whatever it is that helps you to discharge nervous energy, if that's where you've got to, or to nourish your system if you're feeling really depleted and exhausted. Have a nap, but have that space and time as quickly as you can after the event, after the experience, so that it's not a negative experience, but a positive one for your system. So summary: regulate, regulate, regulate. 1, learn how to embrace nervous energy. 2, understand that your psychology, your body is working with your recipients. It doesn't have to be a massive audience, just one other person, and that they want to go from discomfort to comfort along with you. So they're on board with you. And 3, regulate. Afterwards, take time to replenish and organize the energy of your nervous system, depending on whether you're depleted or strung out from that. Okay, to organize and soothe. Hope this has been helpful, and I can't wait to hear back from you guys and talk more. Pop me questions down in the comments if you've got any. Send me DMs, whatever inspires you. Ciao.